ones is just do me a favor of typing in your PPFs just so they're there, they
You
don't
need to
change.
fix that block because not all of the blocks will wrap the data. And so if you're worried, like I tend to be, you totally
I can do that.
lose all of that.
I can do that. Other than that, I'm trying to think through the form. Yeah, we'll go through it. The first one's always clunky.
Hey, Piper.
So, all right, cool. Yes, let's get started. Joe's giving me dirty looks, telling me to hurry the hell up. So, all right.
No, I'm not, Derek. What's up, man? How are you?
How you doing, Joe?
I'm just living the dream over here in sunny Scottsdale.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. How are you guys there? I
Good.
just got to tell you, I'm so excited with what I just heard. You were talking about one-on-ones and PPF goals. I'm like over here going, this is going to be the greatest client kickoff of all time if they've already got all this stuff in place.
So I'll go ahead and beat my own chest a little bit.
Do it, man.
Natalie was here. We did it when we did our platform, right? And we were the only company to go through Cardone history that came to platform with 100% of their HR related items already done.
That's amazing, man.
So super excited about that. We are just to give you the brief as my leadership team gets on here. So I'm COO for RL here. You're going to have Janie Johnson, who is our director of accounting, Melanie Diaz, who is our director of pre-construction, Kalen Lundemo, who is the owner of the company. He should get on here shortly, although he's finishing up a customer meeting at the moment. A little bit of background for us. So we came in, and Dusty might have told you all this, dude. And if he did, man, stop me. So
no, I'd rather hear from the source, man. So this is fantastic.
So we started in the ecosphere back in February. Kalen and I decided, Kalen decided that he was going to go to a 9-figure boardroom. And I told him that I was going to go along to keep his wallet in his pocket because this is all bullshit and they're just going to sell you shit you don't need. It took about 3 hours before I realized this is exactly what we need and this is exactly what we're going to do. And so we went from 9-figure boardroom to a 360. And then from a 360, we took the team to the 360. And the 4 of us on the leadership team have been to every workshop since then that has been offered, except we didn't do sales and marketing. We did revenue essentials. So they're kind of interchangeable, but it would just work better with our schedules. So we actually just finished up 2 days ago. We were in Miami for the last operations workshop. I saw Lisa there talking about you. So we were we were talking about getting started, and she was mentioning how she had just actually onboarded about 3 or 4 months ago, it onboarded you. We're talking about onboarding best practices and stuff like that. So super cool. So
that's fantastic that y'all have been in the ecosystem getting close to a year now, and you've done virtually every workshop that we've done. That's awesome. Y'all are like all in and committed. We got Jeff joining here on our team. So just a second. I see Janie's on. I see Mel's on. What's up, y'all? How are y'all? Let's get Jeff is joining. He just got out of a meeting, so give him a moment to get kind of situated here. And we're still technically 60 seconds or so away from the official start time of this, but whenever y'all are ready, we're ready. I see Jeff is smiling, so that's my indication that he's good to go.
So
how are y'all doing?
Good. Let me give just to be safe. Let me give Kalen another minute or two. Again, he was wrapping up a customer sales meeting that he was in, so I'd like to give him a second to finish up. However, that doesn't preclude us from at least doing intros. So
let's do that.
Let's do this on my side. So Janie, why don't you go first, and then Mel, you can have at it.
Goodness, I'm not sure exactly what you want to know. I have 30 years experience in controller and CFO roles. I'm currently director of accounting. I started with RL SiteWorx December of 20, so it's hard to keep track of the time. We've been really busy. I'm not sure what all you want to know.
That's perfect. Oh, hold on. Actually, I'm one of those that love to get to know our clients, especially ones that are as engaged as y'all are. So if you don't mind, like, what's like your favorite hobby? What do you like to do outside of work? What gets you jazzed and gets you going?
I like to read a lot, and it's a good thing I do because we have a lot that we read. I like to garden. And outside of that, I work a lot.
So she's
All
being
right.
super modest. She's a fantastic cook. She loves cats. She has probably the most menace feline that has ever existed, and we love Opus. However, she travels extensively, enjoys traveling.
I do. I really love to travel. It's not quite worth it if I do it for less than 2 weeks though. So I haven't really traveled a lot lately.
That's true. We've been a touch busy lately. All right, Mel, your turn, Mel. Who are you again, Mel? What do you do?
Right, who am I? Okay, I'm director of pre-construction. I run the estimating department, also sales department here at RL SiteWorx. I've been with the company for 7 years, I'll start 8 years in January. And when I started, there were 5 crews and Kaylin, myself, and one other person in the office. And so started off with Kalen when he was much smaller at about 9 million. So, and for me, I've been in construction 10 years now. I was in the hospitality industry before that for 20 years. And my hobby is to work. So, that's what I do.
And I will attest to that. Mel, other than a great cocktail and a lot of work, that's about it.
You're
So
not the workaholic. So all right. I like it.
And we love it. It's not like I dread it. I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I love to do. I do have a grandson that in my off time, I spend time with him too. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Derek, we have to circle back around to you. You gave a fantastic introduction to the company, but you have to tell us your hobby. What gets you going outside of work?
So a little bit about me. I retired and I did not want to come back to work. And my buddy here, Kayla and I are friends. And about 2 years ago, I came on to RL. I'm 2 years will be in March. My background is construction and real estate development. I was a real estate developer for 15 years and it really enjoyed that. COVID had a horrible impact. I was specifically multifamily, so had a horrible impact on all of that. So my whole world went sideways, and I said, okay, I'll spend some time on the sidelines, figure that out. I started here about 20 months ago, and absolutely just I could not be happier. Just pardon the phrase, pig and shit, and just loving every moment. It is really rare when you find somebody like Kaylin, who frankly has, and Mel and Janie can attest to this, has really kind of let me come in and go, dude, listen, this is whatever this is, it's broken and you get to fix it. So here you go. And I'm going to stand over on here and I'm going to kind of watch what you do. And I'm going to make sure that's what I want, but you need to fix this. And so that's what I love doing. And so for 2 years, been doing that. What I do on my free time, 2 kids, a fantastic wife that keeps me hopping all the time. I enjoy hunting, although I probably only do it once a year. And much like Mel, a good cocktail and a lot of work. Just love that everybody laughs at me because I work a ton, but I really do enjoy it. So that's a great thing.
That's fantastic. We're gonna need to do some cocktails and some work hours, plural, at some point in the very near future. I think it sounds like that would go around the rock. I know Jeff does that. Enjoys that as well. I know we wanted to wait a minute or two for.
Keep going.
Do I pronounce it Kaylin? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah, Kaylin. Yep. You'll see it when you see it spelled. You're going to want to call it everything other than Kaylin. But yes, it is said as Kaylin.
Kaylin, perfect. Am I okay to go ahead and jump in?
Absolutely.
Cool?
Absolutely.
All right. So y'all did it. It's only fair if we do it, right? So you have currently 2 members of the Cardone team on. There's a 3rd member that will be a part of our SBU team that is unfortunately not on the call with us today. So, but I'll start with myself. So it says it on Zoom, but my name's Joe Carter. So My brief background in history, since y'all did the same, I have been mainly in traditional retail for the bulk of my career, which spans roughly 28 years. However, similar to you, Derek, I spanned out, got into property management and multi-unit family specifically. So probably the same time because COVID just destroyed that industry. So I pivoted back and decided to start my own business with a partner of mine, and it was electronics repair because I love all things electronics, and I'm a tinkerer by nature. So we decided to open up some electronics repair shops in the Dallas, Texas area, and it kind of exploded pretty quickly. So we went from 1 unit to 12 stores and 10 mobile vans in about 18 months.
Wow.
And was approached by a franchisor, and we're ultimately paid 14 times our EBITDA to exit out. So that was pretty exciting. And by the time it was all said and done with due diligence, all that, it was probably close to 22-ish months. So from beginning to end, pretty fast track record there. So I had to pivot out of that. My partner decided to go be in politics, so he didn't want to open a new business with me. He's in the House of Representatives up in Ohio now. But so I pivoted over, started my second business with a few other people that I knew. It was a landscaping maintenance and construction company, also in the Dallas, Texas area. So that's where I get some of the construction history background. I'm sure there's a lot of variances there between what you guys do and what the landscaping construction side is, but there's probably some similarities at the same time. Long story short, our goal was to do something very similar to the first company that I did, and that was scale and exit as fast as we could. We had projected 48 months is what we wanted to scale, be $100 million in exit. We did it in 14 months. And was approached by a private equity firm, ultimately paid, that one was 18 times EBITDA for myself and our partners, and we exited. So I did a little kind of short pre-retirement, take some time off, traveled a lot with my wife, 2 kids, and 1 grandbaby. So I'm right there with you, Mel. And ultimately said, you know what? I'm a workaholic by nature. This stuff is driving me crazy that there's nothing that I can freaking do. How do I take what I've learned and help others? That's like kind of near and dear to my heart. So Cardone was a perfect fit for me. I got paired up ultimately with Lisa, that you have had an opportunity to meet, who's one of our best, if not the best, operations advisors, bar none, inside of Cardone. So she has taught me a multitude of things in a fire hose turned on full blast kind of mentality that is all things CV, as y'all probably know. So that's a brief synopsis on myself. I've also got Jeff here as well. I'm going to turn it over to him, let him introduce and say a little bit about him.
Hello, everyone. Guys, all hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. You never know when technology works and doesn't work. My name's Jeff Rosenfeld. Sit right next to Joe here on the floor of the SBU. I do have a beard currently, but when I don't, I look like I'm 10 years old. But I guarantee that I'm not. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Work for some of the bigger CPG companies in the world: Oakley Sunglasses, Dial Soap, Arm & Hammer, bunch of food companies as well. I was also a founder of my own startup in the firearms manufacturing space. I was co-manufacturing for a Kalashnikov concern out of ISMS, Russia. Unfortunately, that kind of got shut down after the first invasion of Ukraine. So thank you very much, Mr. President Vladimir Putin, for doing that to me. If there was no war, we would not be talking right now. But I do not hunt. I hunt paper. I do love to target shoot, and I am a big gun collector, obviously, since I started my own firearms manufacturing company. I've been at Cardone Ventures since July. Very much like Joe, love helping businesses succeed, grow, and rapidly scale. That's what I'm an expert at. Classically, been trained on the East Coast through Arm & Hammer. So if I talk fast, stop me. If I'm moving too fast, stop me. I do not have formal construction background, but I do operate a steamroller. So don't let me steamroll you. Stop me. It's okay. I talk fast, think fast. But yeah, I'm excited to work with you guys. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
So Jeff, what part of the East Coast?
I'm from California originally, so I'm not your marketing guy. I'm your marketing dude. I undergraduate outside of Boston, MBA in New Orleans, Then I spent a year at a rural PA doing medical device. Then I was in Florida and in upstate New York working for the Hero Group, which is a Swiss food company. I don't know if you're familiar with them. So worked for them for a number of years on the East Coast. Then Arm& Hammer was in New Jersey at the time. I think they're in Pennsylvania now. Then I came out here, worked for Dial Soap. They kind of bounced around a little bit doing the CPG nomadic lifestyle. Came back to Arizona to work in the cannabis industry a couple of years ago when it became federally legal here. Did not enjoy that one bit as I thought I would love it, but it was awful. So that brought me to Cardone Ventures. So excited to be here and
awesome. Well, that's neat. Yeah, I was curious as I was putting together Arm & Hammer and all the locations. So I spent some time a couple of years in Philly doing development there, both in Jersey and downtown Philly there for a while. So anyway, just comparing notes.
Yeah, both of my folks from Philly, and I say orange instead of orange.
So. Yep. Well, good deal, guys. Good deal. So, Jeff, did I hear right? You're marketing dude, right?
I'm the marketing and sales dude.
Got it.
So I will be working very closely with you guys to scale, get some new leads in, and make a whole lot of money.
Loving it, loving it, loving it. So you're gonna interface very closely with both Kaylin and Mel. Kaylin, owner, oversees our marketing department. I say department because we have two people, not just one. We have one that is a content creator. His name's Victor Martinez. And we have another, which is Gwen Kylish, is our marketing coordinator. Gwen is a fairly new hire within the last, 6 months, 4 months. Victor, however, is a really cool story real quickly. He is a 12-year employee of the company. He started as a laborer with a shovel in a ditch. And he was there for about 8 years. And somebody said, hey, man, have you seen Victor's recorded these videos of our jobs? Like, have you seen any of this? Eventually percolated up to Kaylin. And we come to find out that Victor runs all of the AV for his church. Well, we start talking to Victor. You want to talk about PPFs? Victor's first generation American comes to us and he says, man, Kaylin kind of sought him out. Victor, would you like to maybe shoot some videos for us? He shoots a couple. They look fantastic. Kaylin comes back to him and says, man, would you like to do this full time? Guy breaks down in tears. That's his dream job. He's never had an opportunity to pursue this. Now he's been doing it. What do we think, Mel, Janie? I'm lost on dates. A year and a half ish, a year.
I want to say 14 months, but yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
laborer to operator, and then from operator into the office.
Yeah, moved up from the field, came into the office. Fantastic success story. Big PPF. When he got to the office, he got to buy his wife a car. Brought the guy to tears. Anyway, great guy. Marketing, fantastic stuff. You'll get to dive into that, Jeff. Sales side of the world. So Mel's the sales side of the world. In our vernacular and how we think through this, pre-construction, right? That's estimating world. Man, so much fantastic stuff going on right now. I won't steal Mel's thunder. I'll let you get through it and we'll have plenty of more calls to go through it. But her and her department of 6 estimators and a coordinator, that is our sales arm of the company. So you're going to interface directly with her.
Fantastic. And I'll be sending you guys a note here after this meeting to set up our weekly calls and who you want to be on the sales and marketing side.
Perfect. All right. So I'll go ahead and introduce Kaylin since he's not here, and I'll give you a brief on the company. I know he normally does this, but so Kaylin Lundemo, the company was founded by Russ Lundemo, his father, 42 years ago. The operations, it's funny, what originally drew Kaylin to Cardone is the fantastic breakpoint quiz, right? Jeremy has been riding that for a while, and it drew Kaylin in. When you look at our history over the last 42 years, it mirrors that exactly. All of our setbacks, all of our jump forwards, everything mirrors the breakpoints. And so that's what got us into Cardone. Well, it was his dad that founded the company 42 years ago. He followed the breakpoints, and about 12 years ago, Kaylin purchased the company. And so we've already made the generational transition. That's a huge win. Glad to see that. 2018, Kaylin was doing, actually Mel was coming online about that time, maybe a little earlier. And we were doing about $9 million in revenue. So 2018, $9 million in revenue, feeling good about that. And Kalen gets a wild bug in his hair and goes, you know what? We're gonna pour some gasoline on this thing. We're gonna see where this goes. And by the end of 2022, we were doing 42 million. So huge growth, lots of investment, great things going on, and then the wheels fell off. There was absolute had skipped every breakpoint that existed, right? There was no role duplication, there was no SOP, there was no foundation. And as we now know through Cardone, right, the whole foundation, came crumbling down. So that was end of 22. During 18 to 22, we also started a second revenue stream in dirt work. We had always been primarily a wet utility company up until that point. We started a dirt work division and then had that as an additional revenue stream in, Mel, keep me honest, was it 18 that we started that? 19.
It was 19.
Okay. All right. So fast forward, dirt helps us grow. It opens doors. We get in these rooms. We start doing more work. However, we're not structured and properly, staffed and concepts and everything else to be able to grow. So 42 million at 2022. I came on board in March of 23, and end of 23, we did 29 million. We are currently projected through 24. We should do right at about 26 or 27 million. Interestingly, and obviously your finance side will go through this, but Janie will show them that we have not only had a significant decrease in revenue, we have had a commensurate increase in our profit. So we have retooled. We've been able to really focus on some internal necessities. And frankly, guys, just scratching the surface, just barely getting there. So excited for SBU to help push us through that. We also recognize that we're probably a little cart in front of the horse, but we had our annual planning session about 4 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago internally. So we've got our revenue targets figured out. We've got our org chart done. We know what our people count looks like. We've got our roles, all this fun stuff that we'll get into later. But that's really kind of the high level on the business. At our high point, we're about 137 employees. Our RPE was running, although we didn't know that concept at the time, our RPE was running at approximately 200,000, 220,000, somewhere in that range. And now as we fast forward, we learn efficiencies in RPE, we are at about an average this month of about 415, 417,000. So really trying to track towards that 415 number is kind of our internal gut as to where we should be. We had got up to 137 employees. Today we stand, Janie, keep me honest, 95. Is that right?
95. Well, actually, if you pull the data from this week's payroll, which we haven't gotten there yet because that happens on Thursday, it's going to be 102 employees as of Thursday of this week.
That's right. Chris Dean's crew came on board. That's exactly right. So Sagittarius, like long walks on the beach, good barbecue. I don't know what else to say here, folks. What other questions? What do we have? Pepper me.
Yeah, that's an amazing growth trajectory that you all have had, especially in that 18 to 22 window. I'm glad to know that y'all recognize the breakpoints and why they're called breakpoints, because that is ultimately things that we're going to maybe need to go backwards a little bit and fix if it hasn't already been fixed. It sounds like y'all have done a ton of work. Your platform team raved about you. I quite literally think I have the recording where Dusty said, "This is my favorite plan of all time." And I was like, I'm getting really excited because Dusty is story time. And if he gives you a short sentence, then it's like the closest thing to a grain of truth that there possibly could be on planet Earth, because he just loves to over embellish everything, even when there's no reason to embellish at times. That's just Dusty in a nature. So when he says that period, he doesn't say anything else. I'm like, I'm really intrigued, Dusty. And y'all are following through, and I can tell that y'all are super bought into the concepts and are ready to go, and we're ready to go as well. So you introduced someone who's unfortunately not able to be here. I think it's now my turn to do kind of the same thing, because we do have a member of the team is not on as well. So we're kind of right there as well. Your finance advisor is actually onboarding. So he is a new member of our team that is, I think he's been with us about 3 weeks now, and we generally have a 6 to 8 week kind of onboarding process to ensure that they understand all things Cardone before we kind of let them turn loose, so to speak. The good news is he comes from the construction world. So he has got quite a bit of experience. I want to say when I talked to him and got kind of his history and everything, it's been since 2020. He's been in the specifically in the construction space. So roughly a 4-year timeline. He's been a CFO and a strategic finance director for 2 different firms. I want to say Smart Building Academy, I believe was the name of one of them, and Franklin Nova. I'm not sure if those are familiar companies for you all or not, but that's his brief history, along with much other stuff that he's done in the finance world outside of construction pre-2020, but that's been what he's been doing for the last few years. So he will be the one taking those budgets and all that annual planning stuff that you guys have already put together and putting it together and make sure that we are tracking towards the trajectory of achieving those things. And when do we need to pull levers to ensure if we're not going to have the wheels fall off the bus because we get to going so fast ever again.
Yeah. Good.
Excuse me. So we do have a short deck. You all know this. We kind of like PowerPoint decks specifically. Are you waving?
Oh, Jenny, you're on mute.
You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Sorry, what is his name?
His name is Adam.
Adam.
And I will try to pronounce his last name. Okay, but if I get it wrong and he says it kind of differently, I've had him say it to me like 6 times, and I'm just one of those people that's not great with names. Adam, I can get down. I can do Adam. It's Kakamizi, Caccamise, and I again maybe mispronouncing that slightly, and he'll probably throw something at his desk at me here in a moment, because I'm sure I've butchered that. But I will make sure that he reaches out directly to you, Jamie, so that we can get some stuff on the calendar. Y'all can start to connect and figure out exactly where do we jump in and leverage those annual planning and all your other financial accounting related stuff to go.
I'd really like to have an opportunity to speak with him sooner rather than later, because right now I'm working towards a new ERP implementation with a go live date of 1/1. And that's a huge lift for me. And I have some questions on how we're structuring that I would just kind of like his blessing.
Yeah, definitely. I will ping him, and if for any reason he can't get on with you super quickly, just for contextual purposes, I've done 7 ERP systems in my career, so I would be happy to kind of tag team it with him if he's still trying to do some of the onboarding stuff so that we can still hit that timeline for you. So it might be you and I, or it might be the 3 of us, but we will figure out a way to get you the support that you need.
Thank you.
Virtual high fives. I like virtual high fives. I don't know why I do. I just do. So y'all get used to it, and Joe's just weird. All right. So I'm sure y'all have seen a plethora of Cardone decks in your brief yet beautiful career and tenure here with CV. So it would not be a CV call without having a slide deck. Like that's just like par for course for us. So let me get my screen share going here and we will walk through this. This is kind of like our introductory kickoff slide deck, if you will. Don't know why it's not coming up though. Can y'all see my screen? Say strategic business unit.
Yep.
All right, cool beans. So this will walk through kind of like how we operate cohesively as a team and where we're going to lean in to support you. So obviously I am your operations advisor. I also kind of tag team and do the HR side of the business as well. So as y'all are looking to onboard people, whether that's recruiting strategies, I want to say your email said we were looking at bringing in an in-house recruiter and wanting to track some metrics and specific KPIs for that individual as we onboard them. I can certainly help and support through that process, but ultimately operations is more where I will fit in. So that's all the goal alignment, ensuring efficiency, performance, everything up until the point of incentive compensation planning, which I do also believe was another thing that was on your kind of immediate needs that we wanted to try to tackle first. So we will lean in together because some of that does bleed in a little bit into the finance side from the incentive compensation, but we have to have kind of some goals and some metrics and some KPIs so that when people exceed those, they earn something. But we got to know what we're going after first. So we will tackle that together. Obviously, Jeff, he's already introduced himself. He will be your marketing advisor as well as sales. So everything from CRM platform to customer personas to marketing strategies and campaigns to ultimately drive the top of the funnel into your business and your organization is really where he's going to focus. And then the sales, which obviously with you all is going to be more of the estimating piece. How do we convert those individuals into actual customers or clients? And then your finance advisor, again, his name is Adam. He will be the one working directly with accounts payable, accounts receivable, reviewing the financial reports, ensuring that we're monitoring accounts and that we're hitting the budgets that we need to, and when we need to spend in certain ways, whether that's marketing, people, or anywhere else within the organization to ensure that we're hitting our growth trajectory targets. Before I proceed, I just spit out a lot of words. What, if any, questions do you have about kind of the three-headed team that is your SBU unit and how we look to support it? Do you have for us?
No, I don't. I had seen the deck before. I think we did a kickoff call with Eric and all that previous. So this is repeat to me. But Mel, Janie, anything?
I'm good.
Yeah, me too. Fine, thank you.
All right. Well, if y'all have already seen the deck, I can kind of fast forward and speed through it a little bit, and we can actually get into some stuff. What'd you say, Jane?
I said that Mel and I have not seen it.
All right. Well, we'll go through it and make sure that we give y'all the opportunity to take in the data and the information. So in terms of integration, that's the terminology that we use for the first 90 days. As you pivot from your platform team to here at the SBU, we really use that first 90 days into what we call integration. It's how do we take all the things that were in your platform delivery and start to put them in place from a foundational perspective so that we can really hit like the fast forward button as fast as we humanly can. Sounds like y'all have already got a lot of these things already in place, so we might be able to hit that fast forward button a little bit faster, but generally speaking, it's roughly a 90-day timeline. During that process, we do weekly as well as monthly calls. So the weekly calls, we call them integration calls. Those are where we do separate out and look specifically at the key stakeholders within the three business units that we just talked through. So operations and HR would meet with myself on a weekly basis. It sounds like Janie, you would meet with the finance advisor and anyone else within the team that wants to on a weekly basis. And there was several people within the marketing aspect that would meet with Jeff. Weekly, I put that in air quotes on purpose, like we will have it on the calendar on a weekly basis. If we need to have them every single day, we'll do it. It's just kind of like the agenda or the timeline that is set up for consistency purposes. But if we need them more frequent, we absolutely can do that. And then we come together collectively as an entire unit. So everyone on the leadership team with you all and everyone on our team comes back together at least on a monthly basis to do what we call strategy calls. So that is where we look backwards a little bit. What did we accomplish the previous month? But more than anything else, we forward look. What are we looking to really accomplish? What are the things that we've set in place that we want to hit fast forward on? And what are those new foundational steps or view steps that we want to put in place as we look towards the upcoming month? So it's a chance for us to get all together and ensure that there's total alignment and total collaboration across the board. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah, Joe, will you send us the deck afterward, I assume?
100%, yes, sir.
Awesome.
I'll send you the deck as well as the recording of this call as well, yes, sir. How about Mel? How about Janie? All that questions on kind of like at least the initial cadence of what we would be looking at? Again, a really big smile from Mel, so I'm assuming that's a good thing.
I hope big. I'm a very positive person, so you'll always see a smile on my face.
I'm going to forewarn you guys for marketing and sales. I am going to schedule 45 minutes because I am a marketer and I am a talker. So 45 minutes, just in case we go off on one of those squirrel hunting tangents I've been known to go off on. So
perfect for Kalen.
Yes, yeah. He's our influencer. You will fit just fine.
Yes. It's all about squirrels. So
Yep.
Yeah, I do exactly the same. That's a good catch. It says 30 minutes on the deck, but I schedule them for 45 minutes, and I'm fairly confident Adam will probably follow suit. If we end early, we end early. But at that time, didn't give us the capability to really get deep and make sure that whatever we're doing is going to ultimately achieve what we're looking to achieve. So, all right. Then, as we pivot out of the integration process, so generally speaking, this is post 90 days, starting with us. what does that ongoing communication and alignment process look like? So we still would have what we call the functional calls, where we're meeting individually with the key stakeholders. The one pivot, generally speaking, unless there's a specific need such as annual planning or anything that is occurring from an expansion standpoint, finance and marketing generally does go from weekly to bi-weekly. Operations HR stays weekly. Again, I'm 100% confident because I've heard him say it before. Jeff is perfectly fine leaving them weekly. It's like whatever is needed in the business. But also there are certain things, especially on the marketing side, if we're running campaigns, we may need more than 7 days worth of data to know if that information is actually working and what, if any, pivots do we need to make. So there's some flexibility in there. We still do the monthly strategy calls. So that's exactly the same as the previous slide. But now we're getting into, we've been together for more than 90 days. So we're now going to also look at quarterly business reviews where we really get down deep into the financial aspects and the performance trends that we're seeing. Are we ultimately obtaining what we are setting ourselves up to obtain? And where do we need to pivot? Where do we need to adjust? Where do we need to speed up? And where do we maybe even need to slow down in some cases to ensure that we are ultimately going to hit our year-end target, which is the ultimate goal. And that leads us into the annual planning process. Joe, I've already done this, sounds like, for 2025. So as we fast forward or forward think to basically a little bit earlier than this time next year, but generally we start around September on the annual planning process for the following calendar year. That is a generally 2 to 3 month process where we work very closely together to ensure everything from a budgetary perspective, resource planning, which is both people as well as any capital expenditures. All of that is set in line for us to understand where we're going to spend money and what our revenue targets are, and how does that flow down from an organizational metric and KPI into departments and ultimately into specific individuals, either current employees or future team members that we're looking to bring on board, so that we can bring them in and have them perfectly aligned with where we need them to be financially and help them achieve their personal, professional, and financial goals as well. Again, whole bunch of words. Or questions if any do you?
Good.
Good, I guess. I got a thumbs up too. I'm feeling good about this team right here. I really am. I believe this is my last slide, and I'm gonna let Jeff say a whole bunch of words. All right, because y'all are probably getting tired of hearing me. But we also offer, in addition to the functional calls that we'll have on a weekly basis, in addition to the monthly strategy calls, the quarterly calls, and obviously the annual planning process, we also have weekly webinars. I'm not sure if y'all have already been involved or participating in these or not. I'm getting a head nod from Derek, so it sounds like it. So this may be a repeat. The Owners Roundtable is one that generally we see a ton of engagement through the platform process. The 10X employee, if I'm honest, it's like a 50-50 mix. Like we got some companies that are like super invested and they get employees on there. And then I've had other ones that they're like, I didn't even know there was an employee call. So that is one that if it's not currently being leveraged, especially for new hires that we're bringing on board, it's a way for them to really get into the ecosystem and understand some of the vernacular that we're using, PPFs, metrics, KPIs, like all of those things that y'all don't have to repeat on the concept over and over too. So it's an extra resource there for you. If y'all don't already have the links and all that kind of stuff, you just let us know and we will get them over to you. Derek has a raised hand.
I do. So Joe, so you're aware, Kaylin and I are also going through BMLP. And how, oh, fantastic. Owners Roundtable, I'm kind of prioritizing in my head. Owners Roundtable to me is probably a half step down from BMLP. Like if we're okay, all right, I got it. All right.
You would be absolutely correct. So you are in fantastic hands. I'm assuming you were working directly with Laura and Steve Lago. Like yep. You couldn't possibly be paired up with anyone better than those two individuals.
100%.
Are y'all going to the retreat in February?
No, we went to the last one. It was about a month ago there. Yeah.
Man, darn. I'm going to that one, so I was hoping. That's okay. We'll figure out another time that we can get together and do that cocktail hours we were talking about. We'll figure that out from
100%.
standpoint.
100%.
But yes, you're dead on. The BMLP is an accelerated program. The Owners Roundtable is a little bit more like kind of self-paced program.
Got it.
All right. I think this is you, Jeff. Am I right? No? I'm getting a no. Oh, okay, my bad. I guess you'll just have to hear my voice longer. Apologies for that. So during the integration process, we went through your platform deck. And ultimately what your platform team delivered to you, if I counted correctly, there was like 412 takeaways and or action items that they're asking you to do. That is a whole lot of stuff, for lack of a better way to put it. And so ultimately we want to help you accomplish all 400 plus of those, but like there has to be kind of some strategic planning in terms of how do we attack those, which ones have higher priority. You all have your list. We certainly have ours based on what we've seen through other companies that have come through the SBU and have had success and accelerated very quickly. So with all of that in mind, this is one that may look similar to if the screen is also shared by Eric, but it might have some slight variances. And that would be because we try to tailor it specifically to the client, what's coming from the platform. So during the first month, and this is all negotiable. So it may look like it's written in pen, but in reality, this is all pencil, in my opinion. So if there's something you're like, no, I see this is in month 2, but I really want to go tackle this right now, no problem. We can move this stuff around. This is just kind of our initial assessment, but it is totally open to kind of discussion and collaboration with you all. During the first month, all teams, so that's all of us, we're doing a kickoff call, which we have right now, setting up the time for our weekly touch bases. Ops. So we're going to ensure that we have goals set up, which it sounds like you already do from the annual planning, our magnitude of impact scale, and culture. Like what are we doing from a culture perspective? It sounds like y'all are doing some fantastic things, both from the platform team and just listening to you all talk. But I really want to understand the day-to-day cultural things. And then ultimately, you mentioned it yourself a while ago, Derek, like duplication. We say owner there, but in reality, I call it leader duplication. There are multiple leaders, especially at the revenue level you're currently at and the revenue level we're looking to get to, that we need to figure out a way in order to duplicate. Sounds like y'all are doing some, if not all of that already, which is fantastic. So again, some of this we might be able to go faster on than a normal client. Finance, we want to kind of review current financials, ensure our chart of accounts are properly linked to our revenue streams. Probably already done, but it's something that Adam will certainly want to look through. And then marketing, our customer relationship management system. What does that flow look like? What data are we currently tracking and have easy access to? And then start building out a campaign calendar based on that. So that's kind of what we're looking to accomplish in the first 30 days, in addition to what you sent to us, or not you, Derry, actually, I think it was, I sent it like about a week ago. In addition to those 5 bullet points, this is kind of like our 4 bullet points, if you will, and there's a few things within each of those. I'm not going to spit out necessarily every single bullet point on there. I will send the slide deck out, but we will talk through these things. And again, if there is something that we need to move around, either up or down, we absolutely have the capability to do that. But each and every one of these are what we call V-steps. So we literally have a vision, commitment, excellence plan, or execution plan, excuse me, for every single one of these things to ensure that we're doing it to the degree that we need to do it, so that when we get to that place of a break point where this becomes appropriate, we have put every measure in place that is not something that is going to stop us down, and we ultimately break through that break point. So it may sound like, we got data already for CRM. Well, that's awesome. But like what data, how are we tracking it? Who's looking at it? How often are we looking at it? Is it tied to compensation and incentives? Like there's a lot of things that go into every one of these. And we want to make sure all of those boxes are checked and checked properly.
And Joe, you nailed it, man. So we have done, the team here has done a phenomenal amount of work to begin to put our toe in the water of each of these concepts, right? So like, we do a little bit of this, but to your point, it's not integrated, tied in, made sure, double checked, data collected. That's really where we stand on so many different topics. So love to hear that.
That's amazing. So like, the first couple of steps we can probably kind of go fairly quickly through, but when we get down into the weeds of certain things, we can absolutely, we got plenty of construction companies that we are already partnered with within the SBU that we can lean on, like, well, what are they tracking? What are they looking at? What's driving success for them? And while we can't tell you what company it is or some of the very specific natures, we can share best practices with you of what has worked if that's not something that we're already implementing, and we can look to to make sure that we're doing things that are working within the, the holistic ecosystem of CB.
Cool.
Now it's Jack, right?
My turn. So, continuing on the theme of accountability, I'm going to ask the question, be honest, did you guys work on your 10X action plans from the platform deliver? I see smiles, which probably means no.
So total transparency, no, we did not. However, funny enough, we all kind of work in this way, but I'll go ahead and I'll show. So this is these are my notes, right, from platform and everything else, and highlighted, color coded, the whole deal. But no, we didn't technically fill out the action plan sheets. Also, just so you're aware, from platform, we went platform. 1 week later, we did our annual retreat and planning. And then we rolled right into, we had a weekend break. And then last weekend, we were operations workshop. And then now we kind of knew all this was going to happen through there. And also, just to be candid, Kaylin, our owner, needed some time to marinate. Like there was to Joe's point, there's 400 things. Love him to death, best friend, but the reality is that many things, he just gets overwhelmed and the whole world stops and the gears just lock up. So no, we have not, and we are ready, willing, and able to dive into them.
Perfect. If you guys could just do a tertiary dive in for me before we truly kick off, I would greatly appreciate it. That's going to guide us kind of on our path that we're going to go. That way I'm aligned, you're aligned, we're all holding hands together and aligned together. I don't want to send you off a path where you don't want to go just yet. So it's keeping everyone aligned and moving forward and smoothly, and big on open and honest communication as well.
You will get plenty of that from us.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Joe already touched upon the VSET process. I'm not going to read the slide because I'm not a slide reader. Even though I am a marketer, I'm a slide creator. But as the new VSEPs are introduced, we will advise you and schedule calls to review the best practice procedure. We will show you the deck. We will provide you with any literature that accompanies the deck. Unfortunately, we don't give out the deck, but we do give out the recording of the call. So you can watch it, but you will get a worksheet that goes along with it. It's very self-explanatory, very similar to the 10X action plan, like creating content calendar, creating marketing metrics, stuff like that. Very simple, very easy to follow. And of course, any questions regarding maybe finance, ops, marketing, whatever, speak up and ask. We've all been doing this for 20 plus years independently of each other. So a lot of this is just second nature. It's like driving a manual transmission car. I've been doing it so long. I don't understand why people don't know how to do it, because I've been doing it since I was a little kid, and it just makes sense to me at this point. And the same thing with marketing, the same thing with ops, and the same thing with finance. So if we go too quick or say vocabulary or terminology you're not familiar with, just speak up and we'll slow down for a second. Not slow down, but take a step and explain it to you in a way that's easy for you guys to understand and digest. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right, next slide there. 10X Business Academy. Are you familiar with the 10X Business Academy?
Yeah, this is brand new. I was talking to Lisa at the operations deal about this. So yeah, fill us in.
Perfect. So I love the 10X Business Academy. Once we get off the call, we'll send you the link along with the notes to the meeting. I don't think January is updated yet. I don't think it is.
December right now.
Yep, it goes to the end of December. So the topics include marketing, sales, finance, HR, operations, just about any business function you can think of. And it's hosted by the leaders here at Cardone Ventures. So Lisa, for example, may host one of the ops conversations. Laura may handle one of the business conversations. Jasmine, who's one of the first marketers to work here, she may lead one of the marketing conversations. And we're very similar to the BMLP calls. They're interactive. There'll be a topic and you ask questions, you dive in, you get those questions answered. It's free for you guys. So I recommend once you guys get that link amongst your cross-functionals, share that link, attend with your people. It's great exposure to Cardone. It's great exposure to our terminology. our method of thinking and how we approach and solve problems.
Cool.
And also your peer group is there as well. So you may have a question about X, Y, and Z, and another client in Idaho may be, oh yeah, we did that 2 years ago. This is what we learned. And a client from Florida may say, oh yeah, we do that same thing in Florida and we do it this way and get this result. So it's a great also for that peer review as well. And, oops, sorry, I forgot this slide was there. You can take a photo with your phone. That's going to take you to the exact same link I'm going to send you after this call is over. And that way you can get yourself registered. It's super simple. You go on there, name, phone number, email, and it sends you a calendar invite. Super awesome. Have you guys downloaded the Cardone Ventures app yet?
Oh,
This is the first time I've heard of it, Jeff.
Well, glad I'm here today.
Is this different than the CEO platform?
This is the CEO platform, but it's on your phone.
Got
So
it.
you can access it on the go, do some Cardone U on the go. You're in the field. You've got an issue. How do I handle this with a rogue employee who's digging holes in the wrong place?
Yeah.
You can go get that there. You need a little Grant Cardone pep talk before you go try to close a sale.
Yeah.
You laugh, but I watch that every single day.
100%. I listen to it coming into work just to pump me up. I'm like, all right, let's go.
And then when I took my car in for service 2 weeks ago, I go to the dealership. I walked the sales floor. I wanted to be Cardone, and I wasn't. And I was so disappointed.
100%.
I left crying, and the service guy, what's wrong? I'm like, you wouldn't understand if I told you, but
how funny.
So I think the link is on there for the app, or is it just in the Google Play and Apple Store? Just in the Google Play and Apple Store. Just search Cardone Ventures app, or just Cardone Ventures, and this is what it looks like. I don't think there's anything else called Cardone Ventures in the App Store, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it was easy to find. I just downloaded it to my phone.
Fantastic. And that's it. Welcome to the family. I know I can't speak for the team, but I'm super excited to be working with you guys. Any immediate questions, concerns?
I think so. We had sent Joe kind of a list of primary topics specifically that Kaylin was interested in. I apologize that he's not on the call. I assure you that he is not only excited but committed. So this is a culmination of a lot of effort for my team, and I'm really happy that they're here. And I think for us, knowing now what our structure is going to look like, and I'll tell my team, let's go ahead and get everything you can on your calendar. A lot easier to cancel than to add, and just really looking forward to it. So exciting.
Perfect. I do have one dumb question.
Let's
I
go.
wish this question wasn't being recorded, but I'm going to own my own humility.
I love it.
What time is it we are locally right now?
Locally, we're 5:48.
5:48. So you're 1 hour ahead of us. Perfect. We don't change clocks here, so I don't know.
I don't get it either,
what's,
Jeff.
What's
I
going
have
on.
no idea. Like every time I fly there, I just get surprised when I land, and I'm like, oh yes, this is the time here. Yeah. I tried to explain it to my 18-year-old, and I felt like an idiot. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Google that shit. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've been here in the summer, and as you know, Arizona is no longer part of the US. It's broken off and it's heading toward the sun at a very rapid rate.
Yeah. So, well, cool, man. This is exciting. Obviously, we're happy to meet everybody and get our feet underneath us. So just to kind of recap, you've got Janie for all the finance world. You've got Mel for all your sales related. Kaylin is marketing, and he'll get Gwen involved. And then really from an operational standpoint, it more than likely will be Kaylin and I through that. There's going to be a massive data dump. I know y'all have everything from platform that we did. Don't be shy, right? We are here, ready, willing, and able to go. I will stick up for my team a little bit and say, 8 months, we've been to a workshop at least every 4 weeks. We have been absolutely just crushing it up here, implementation, getting the things done. we are coming into the end of the year a little bit worn out. So we're gonna take some time off in December. I know, and I encourage my team to do so. But excited to get this started. Really want to see how we can crush 25. To give you a brief update, we have set a financial target of $50 million for 2025. We have every reason to believe that we will potentially, and I can't believe I want to say this out loud. There's a real reason to believe we might do 63 million. We have a current backlog right now of untouched projects that is, assuming we get Mel the MDA deal that we just went to, that'll put us at 22 million in untouched backlog starting the year. So fantastic.
Well, and I just want to say, guys, I am not taking time off in December because I have an ERP. You know, after the first of the year, all bets are off.
Okay.
Absolutely true.
Well, yes, we'll get to the January 1st, and then, you know, that I would love to tell you of the 7 ERP systems, every one of them works perfectly on day 1 of implementation. It never happened once. So just FYI, yeah, maybe middle of January is a realistic target. Just saying.
No, I'm betting on February.
Okay, hey, that's cool.
At the end of February, I figure that I'm going to be golden and that I can get away for a week. Maybe 2.
I have one question for really the totality of the whole team, if that's all right. I'm one of those people that I kind of ask for permission in some cases just to ensure later on down the road, if I have to pull the card out, I have the capability to pull the card out. So that is this. Before I ask for it, though, I'm going to volunteer it. So one of our core values here at Cardone is accountability. I ask sincerely from the bottomness of my heart that you hold myself and this team accountable. If we are supposed to have calls with you and we're missing too many calls, if we're not responding to you in a fast enough time frame or in a completeness that you need, we're not going fast enough, if we're going too fast, anything that we need to adjust on our end, that you hold us accountable to those things. Ultimately, we're here as a resource to help you achieve your goals. And we want to ensure that we are doing that in the way and in the speed that you want. So that's my volunteer. And now here's my ask. Do I have your permission? And I'm going to go around the room if that's okay. Do I have your permission to hold you accountable that if you commit to doing something, whatever it is, $50 million or an ERP system on January 1st, or I'm going to read this book, or I'm going to spend this weekend with my grandkid, or I'm going hunting in 2 months, or whatever it may be, personal, professional, or financial, if you set a commitment to it, that I have the capability to hold you accountable to that. Is that okay with you? And if not, let's speak now or forever hold your peace. We're not actually getting married, but we're going to use the terminology anyway.
I love it. Absolutely.
Kaylin jumped in absolutely held me accountable. There he is.
Yeah, sorry guys. The team meeting or projects meeting interview, it went pretty good, guys, but just got done. So is this Joe?
This is. Hey, Kaylin, how are you, sir? Very
good. Sorry, we had a post-bid interview with a customer, so priorities, I guess. But anyway, sorry I missed the call.
No worries at all. Your team has spoken glowingly of you and the organization. We've obviously recording this. We'll send it out after the fact, but it sounds like you, me, and Derek are going to get to know each other very, very well from the operations standpoint side. So looking forward to really getting to know you even more. Dusty has spoken nothing but great things about you and the team. And I know I speak for myself, but I'm going to speak for the whole team. We're super excited to get y'all into the SBU because this is where we actually get to like hit the fast forward button on implementation. It's been a whole lot of planning and preparation up until now, although y'all have done some implementation already, more than most, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But now it's time to really get after it. So I asked the question. I heard Derek say yes. I heard Mel say yes. Janie, is it okay that I hold you accountable as well?
Absolutely.
Boom.
I don't think I have an issue with us though.
Yeah, that's true.
I doubt you'll have any issue with us either from that standpoint. But you know what? None of us can fix anything that we do not know is broken. So transparency, openness, that's even if it's got to be one of those like difficult, hard to have conversations, like we are just not doing what we need to be doing. I would rather have that than anyone feeling frustrated for any reason whatsoever, whether that's from a customer or anything else. I had a call with a different client yesterday that took about 2.5 hours. And at the end of it, I was like, well, what do y'all think of this? And he goes, this was like business therapy. You should be a psychiatrist. I go, I know, that's because for 90 minutes, I talked you off the whole day. But we're perfectly fine in doing that because at the end of the day, in some ways, that helps the business grow. So.
Cool.
Very good.
Any closing thoughts?
And I missed this, and someone could probably fill me in. So today we just had a meeting on Trainual and how we're going to do it. So I mean, nuts and bolts wise, you're going to give us kind of the outline of how you guys have Trainual set up, so we can start getting our processes formed done
100%.
through Trainual. That would be
100%.
something we would reach out to you.
Absolutely, yes, sir. So Trainual is certainly in my wheelhouse. I'm a training and development expert in my career, so taking that, putting it in the program to ensure that it not only has the content that we're looking for, but how do we ensure knowledge retention? That's ultimately the metric that we want to try to attain with anything from a training and development perspective. So yes, is the short answer to your question. All right, because we just saw in the operations workshop how they had it set up. So as we were doing it today, we were like, okay, this is our template. But again, that's one of the biggest things that came out of that is we need to get our processes. So I'll start beating you up on that, trying to get that, getting that done so we can move our needle there. So beat me up all you want to. I'll be a punching bag or whatever. And I'm good with it. Like, let's go. The faster you want to go, the faster I want to go. I'm all in. I like it.
Cool. Well, Kay, I'll give you a call, man. I'll fill you up on the details. But man, Joe, looking forward to it, bud. Same here. Oh, JD, you had a question? You had raised your hand?
I really do need to talk about the chart of accounts this week, if at all possible. So
let me talk to him, and I'll send you a note here in just a little bit. And if you can't respond tonight, you give me first thing in the morning. Like, we'll figure out whether it's him, myself, if I got to tap in another finance advisor just to make sure. Like, we'll figure out a way to get you something within the next couple of days.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the short notice.
Oh, no worries at all. None whatsoever.
We're fired up. You may not be waiting on us, Joe. It may be the other way around. That's the way we like it.
Yeah, I like it that way too. Like, all right. Very good, guys. I appreciate it. Yes, y'all have a fantastic evening. I know y'all are a little bit hour ahead of us, so enjoy your dinner or whatever you're doing post work. I've heard cocktails are generally the end of the day regime here, so maybe I'll take a selfie with the cocktail of the hour tonight, and I would love to see it. So there it is, man. I got it. I'm wherever your office is. We're doing an outing.
When you make it to Houston, you can come find me.
Actually, I grew up in Houston. We'll get into that in the next call. Klein High School is where I graduated from, so I got friends and family. I'm on my way. Let me just say that.
I love it. Cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna run. Y'all take care.
See you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Bye bye.